Hey channel makers, over the last 7 or 8-ish years, I've worked with thousands of YouTubers and built several of my own channels, and I found one thing that is the #1 predictor of success and failure on YouTube, and that's what I'm gonna show you here in this video today. This is YouTube, so I have to say there's one thing, right? That's how it always goes, but no, really, it's your ability to actually create content. Now, that might seem a little bit too obvious, and there's more to it than that. It's actually not even just your ability, but you're actually doing it. It seems obvious that people who don't create content won't succeed at a content business, and yet there are a couple of barriers that are always in the way for people. And unless you can overcome those barriers, you're probably not going to make enough content to be successful. So whether you're brand new at YouTube or you've been doing this for a little while, this could really be the thing that is impacting you the most and preventing the greatest success. So let's talk about what these barriers are. The first barrier is kind of a mental one. It is the content that I want to create, the content that I envision. I'm not ready for, right? It's not quite ready. I need to perfect it a little bit more. I need to improve my content outline. I need to improve on the idea. I need a better setup. I need a better this or that before I'll be ready to create the kind of content that's gonna succeed. That's garbage thinking, okay? But it's normal. If you're feeling that way, I'm not trying to guilt you or anything. I'm just telling you it's normal, but it's a lie. It's a mental trap. It's time to create something. No matter where you are today, no matter what gear you have, pull out your cell phone and create something. Now, at this point, I don't necessarily care if you publish it or not, but I'd rather you did, because I want you to see what the thing that you're creating is capable of actually doing out in the ether, on YouTube and in the world. The second barrier happens to people, even people who have been doing this a while and are okay with just creating content, even if it's not 100% perfect. And that is the physical barrier of not having a space totally ready to go so that they can just film. Every little step that you have to take to go from what you're doing right now to being able to hit record on the camera and make a YouTube video, every one of those steps is an excuse to put it off. It's just human psychology. So what you need to do is reduce the number of excuses that you have to starting. Now, I want to show you how we've done that here with channel makers and with our entire business. We've tried to basically set everything up to create the least friction possible between planning a video and then just getting it done. But I also want to give you some ideas of how you might be able to do this no matter what sort of a setting you have, even if you're just filming out of your home. I want to take you on a little bit of a tour. Let's go check out the office here. For that, we're going to go ahead and turn on the lights. And let me show you around a little bit. Here we go. All right, this right here, this is cool. We've got everything set up in one place. We got the light, it's fully adjustable height-wise. The camera's in place and it's all plugged in. Basically, all you do is flip a switch and everything's turned on. So I can hit record and just get to work. We have this awesome setup with just a nice backdrop. But I'm a big fan of multi-purpose, so get that foam out of the way. And we have a setup here that works great for a lot of different kind of videos rather than just sitting at the desk. And here's another angle right over here. I could even do like a yoga, maybe I won't do that. But we've got a lot of different setups and a lot of different angles that we could do in this room, even multiple people sitting at a chair together. But I've got some other setups I could show you that hopefully will help spark the ideas of what you could do in your own space. So out here, we do have a full kitchen. If you'd like to know how I would set up a kitchen to look really good for video, let me know in the comments. Maybe we could make a whole video all about that. But I got this cool room over here. You've seen this before. This is our blackboard room. Basically, it's a perfect setup for us to be able to show really cool things on the blackboard. But what makes it really perfect for what we're talking about in this video today, I've got this camera mounted on the wall in exactly the right placement for the blackboard, and mounted on the camera, nice little close-up light, so that if I need to film a little intro, I can just do that. We'll turn that off. We also have the lighting right above you. That lighting right there is set just right so that the person standing in front of the blackboard is lit well. We've also got these other lights over here. I wonder what those are for. Well, let me show you. I told you I like multi-purpose. This Nice blank wall for thumbnails. All I do is turn on these lights right here, and we have a thumbnail. All right, let me show you one more room. It's pretty cool. This room right here, I love this setup. Basically, I have it all ready to go for live streams. This camera is connected to that docking station. All it takes is plugging in my laptop, and basically it's ready to go. We've got the mic set up there as well, perfect for live streams, for recording a podcast, and I can just turn it out of the way and record a normal YouTube video with two people at a desk together because it's a nice long desk. But again, multi-use, right? All I gotta do is turn this light, and I have a completely different setup with this nice shiplap wall that I can use for a different style of video, or maybe even a different style of channel. I can do demo types of videos here at this table, or I can roll the table out of the way and I can just have a video with this nice backdrop. It's an excellent setup for all sorts of different things, and just goes to show how you can take up a single wall or even a single corner like we did behind you over here and have an awesome setup without needing a whole lot of space within a room that has tons of other stuff, like a bedroom or home office. Now I get that this looks like a lot of fancy stuff, a lot of fancy equipment, but if you'd like to see how you could do a really awesome, simple setup at home with just the bare bones, most basic equipment, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to make a video for you about that too. All right, now let's go back to the channel maker's room. Recently, we spent 3 months not having this, okay? We went from our old office to a new one and ended the lease a bit too early. The new one wasn't ready yet. And so it took 3 months, and we filmed from home. You may have noticed some changes here on Channel Makers. On Income School, it was the same way, where I was filming from my home office, Nate was filming from his home office. So what did we do? If you look back at some of those videos, you'll see some really basic things. A lot of the things I already talked about. A little lamp in the background. You'll notice the dim lights, right? You'll notice just a little bit of decor on the walls. Didn't take a lot, just a little bit. And you'll notice that we each had a light shining on us so that we could make the videos look pretty good. It doesn't take a ton of decor or anything fancy or expensive. So how do we do it and make it easy? Well, that was the trouble. At home, I don't typically have a dedicated space. We have a little home office, but it's literally used by everybody. The home computer was there. I brought my work computer there. I set up a little desk over in the side. And what did I have? I had like a little corner, and it was always a mess. The kids come home from school and they dump their backpacks in that room. I didn't have room to leave my light set up all the time. And I was having to literally, every time I needed to film a video, go pull the light out from the garage on the stand, bring it in, set it back up, set up the lights, set up the camera, put the mic on, and then I was ready to record. And it was like 10 or 15 minutes, but that was a barrier. And it made it so that I was best off batching my videos. So I would record 2 or 3 videos in a row instead of just recording one when it was ready to go. So what could you do? If you have a corner of a home office, or if you have a corner of a master bedroom, it can be great to just set up some very simple decor. My home office was not perfectly staged, and not to say the least. So I was able to set it up in a way that looked pretty good. The biggest trouble is oftentimes the light. And an easy way around that is to use a smaller, simpler light panel, or to store it as close as possible, maybe in a closet. For me, the best thing I could do was put it in the garage, and it was a bit more of a hassle. But even with the hassle, like I said, it was a 10 or 15 minute setup, which is substantially better than it was when I first started. So give yourself every opportunity to be successful on YouTube. Do what you can to create a setup that allows you to be ready to film in as little time as possible. I also want to encourage you to try one more exercise. Think about the things that come up in your mind that prevent you from hitting record on the camera. Anytime, any sort of excuse, no matter how justified, comes up, write it down. What are your barriers to hitting record? I want to know about it here in the comments below. We'll talk about it in the future. I want you to overcome those barriers so that you create as much content as possible. That's going to be one of the best ways to ensure your success here on YouTube. I look forward to seeing you here in my next video on this channel, and until then, let's get making.